I know.
Right on time.
Hey there, hi. Oh, I'm Cadence Kidwell, proprietress here at Fuzzy Goat, and we are with Marcie of Bad Sheep Yarn and this beautiful pop-up, and you're just a new Floridian. I'm still going to call you new. How long is it? How long have you been in Florida?
2 years.
Okay, so maybe not new anymore.
It still feels new. It's okay.
Oh. Well, you have such a huge following, Marcie. We are so honored that you're here and spending time with us and brought this beautiful yarn. Thank you guys for watching. The yarns that we're showing now, we will have online later today. As you can imagine, we've got lots to juggle and work around and make sure that you can see them too. So we've got some Dyer questions for you, and then we just want you to talk about whatever you feel like talking about. Florida, Alaska, yarn.
Yeah, whatever.
Yeah.
Whatever happens.
So I'm just going to ask you, the first one is, how do you pick your bases?
Oh, well, okay, so our main bases are the 75-25 super wash, I'm saying super wash merino wool with nylon.
Okay.
And I picked that one in the very beginning because I wanted a fiber blend that you could use and be safe with if you were a new knitter or crocheter.
Yeah.
And just have a really great experience with if you're new to hand-dyed yarn. And so I was pretty inexperienced at the time, even if it was like, oh, well, this one dyes the best and this one doesn't. I just wanted, but I had been a knitter for a really long time. So I wanted something that could kind of transcend a lot of different skill levels. So that was why we had picked our first, and we still have that base, and it's turned out to be a really wonderful base to work with because it's very soft and it is machine washable. And so, we never get the email of like, this felted.
Yeah.
And that was the other thing too. I was a huge gift maker. I would make everything for Christmas for years because it was more affordable.
Yeah.
And so I wanted something that people could use for making gifts, and they wouldn't have to like worry about someone ruining a gift that they had gotten. So that was why I had picked that main base. And then in the first few years that we were going, I had gone through and tried a few other bases and fiber blends just because I enjoy that part of my job is all the fiber blends. But I really started to pull things in somewhere around and have them stay there around, I think, probably 2022, I think, or 2023 maybe. We had always had our sparkle yarn as well.
And that's what's in your top.
What I'm wearing. Yes. This is I think it's the Luminous tee.
Yes.
And we had always had a sparkle for like Christmas. Then
but it's like,
it's a very subtle sparkle.
I've seen you for the last hour, and it wasn't until about...
I'm not like blinding you with the flash.
Well, it wasn't until about a half an hour into setting it up that I even noticed that there was sparkle in it. Yeah. I like that.
I like that too. But then we brought in an alpaca silk lace blend because there was a lot of patterns being made with mohair. Yeah. But I don't like mohair.
Some of our own team is allergic to mohair.
Yeah, it's very, it has a lot, which alpaca can too feel a little scratchy close to your skin, but it's not quite as much as mohair. So it's a little bit more downy, I would say, than mohair, but it is softer on your skin. And you can still use it in place of a mohair substitute, I think. Like especially one of those really light lace weight ones. And I've made several sweaters out of it, and I love that lace weight.
So that makes me think you moved from Alaska to Florida.
Yeah.
And so we're fortunate enough to have a lot of fuzzy fans that are all over the country. And when they ask about, talking about a soft yarn in the South is a different thing than a soft yarn in the North, because there's usually a layer between your skin and down here. So when we say it's soft, we really mean it, because so have you found like, oh, I thought that something was soft. I mean, maybe even something out of your closet, and now you're wearing it next to your skin, and you're like, oh my gosh, no.
No, but only because when I was a kid, I had gotten this sweater from the thrift store, and it was probably a mohair blend.
Yeah.
and just really, my mom hated it and was like, please stop wearing that. But I like wore it for family pictures and everything. It was a really cool sweater. I still remember it, but it was like incredibly scratchy. And because I loved it so much, though, I forced myself to wear it. So I think I have this like mental thing that's like, who cares?
Okay. Well, yeah.
If I love it,
Sure.
I'll wear it. I
Yeah.
know a lot of people don't have that, but even as a kid, I was like, if I love it, I will wear it. So I haven't really found that. And so I think I like very early on dulled any sensitivity that I have to scratchy things. I forgot what I was saying. Oops. But yeah, I haven't in the South really. I'm making my first silk top. We have a silk fingering weight, and I'm doing that for the first time. I think that will be really lovely to wear close to your skin.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I still, like, this is merino wool. I'm still...
Well, merino, it breathes.
Hey,
that's something
they wear it in space.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My no-show socks are smart wool, and they wick the moisture away. It breathes better, and it doesn't get heavy like cotton.
Yeah, I went running. I like to run long distance, and I was training for a big race last year, and one day I was like, I'm going to wear my wool socks and just see the ones I had made.
Yeah.
And just see how they feel on my feet. And so for long distance, your feet take a beating. But those were amazing. And I like ran through puddles and everything. And after a while, I was like, I probably should change these
socks.
Yeah, because it was raining that day. My feet were very wet.
You ran in your hand knit socks.
Yeah,
that's impressive.
Yeah, they were great. Yeah, I just wanted to see.
Yeah, see the things we learn about our beloved Dyers.
Oh, hi, Alicia.
Yeah, let's see. We got all kinds of people on here. See, we got the camera further, so I haven't been able to see Carol and Rhonda.
Hello.
Yes, we are happy you were all here. We had to back it up so you could get both of us and this beautiful display here too. Yes, and Susan. And so if we don't say hello, it's not because we're not glad you're here. We're super glad. What's your favorite base? And it can change too.
Yeah, it does change.
I love this detail here too. I'm just like in the sweater.
You know, one of our sample makers made this for me, and it was really lovely. I'm just like, always.
I have to get the one over there and show you. So what's really funny is Marcie came to the door. We have the display set up to go.
Me and the mannequin were matching.
Yeah, today. This is Melissa's Luminous. Isn't that funny?
The difference. My stripes are haiku. Our colorway haiku, and Melissa used blueberry, which is
that was a big hit last year when you came.
Yeah, that one is good wherever it goes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Isn't that
funny? Favorite base to dye on is actually goes by weight right now.
Okay.
We have some non-superwash that I have been really enjoying experimenting with. And so I think that's something where especially when talking about different bases and different fiber blends, I love the experimentation process of figuring out how different things take different dyes. Sometimes it's frustrating, but most of the time I enjoy problem solving with that.
Okay.
So right now but actually, I guess I would say my favorite base has always been dyeing on the fingering weight 75-25.
Yeah, but it just takes the color so
it takes color really well, but I also really like dyeing on our sport weight yarn. There's something about plies and how the things, just how things are applied. If they're tighter, it just makes a really awesome, it's just easy to maneuver dyes. And I think that's more of like how things turn out or how they take color. It's like how easily can I maneuver the dyes to do what I want them to do. And that one, and then sport weight as well. Our sport weight is 100% superwash merino, and it just the plies, the everything. It's just really, really beautiful when you're.
We just need to get more designers to do more sport weight patterns.
Yeah. There are some.
There are some. But I need more.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like a sport weight. I like
Me too.
wearing a sport weight
Me
too.
too.
I like knitting with it. It goes faster than fingering.
Yeah. Yeah.
All of that. Talk a little bit about the non-superwash.
Yeah.
Because we've been trying to educate people why that matters.
Mm-hmm.
So
well,
talk about why you think it matters.
Yeah. I love history, and it's actually one of the reasons why I got into knitting. I've loved history since I was a kid. I just wanted to be like Laura Ingalls Wilder. I just really wanted something that made me feel a little more like connected to a part of history that I loved. And so when I found someone that could teach me, I glommed onto it really fast. But so I think for when it comes to non-superwash, there are a lot of versus superwash. There are a lot of people that consider it for like environmental reasons and things like that. There are a lot of companies that are working on making that a lot better. So for me, they're progressing there in ways that are doing really well. So I love that, and why I still am like, I'll still carry it and use it. But I love the non-superwash because I feel like and this is like the part of me that gets not a little sentimental, but I love connecting to the like little bits and origins of where things began.
Yeah.
And appreciating something that's like a heritage craft. I feel very honored that I can have a career in something that is something that's a heritage, and that it has been around for forever.
Yeah.
So
we make fabric out of string.
Yeah. And so I think like any area where I can connect to that, I love that. And so there's also really neat benefits to a non-superwash and having something that's so close to the source of what you're making with. I'm trying to say that in ways that make sense. It's like straight from the sheet.
Yeah, right.
And
are they breed specific also?
They can be, yeah. Ours are we always have the merino in there just because it's a really phenomenal breed.
Right.
But yeah, you can get breed specific to just blends, micron counts, lengths of strands. Like you can get so specific there, and I don't, because I just don't have the mental capacity for that right now. But yeah, no, I just love it. There's so much with non-superwash. Like when you put it in the water to make with it, it floats like for a very long time. And when we were educating our dyers and everyone else in the studio, it was like, let's appreciate this.
Yeah.
It adds time to your workday, but at the same time, it's like, wow, this is like
so lofty
and moisture wicking and all of these things that you think about, like, this is from an animal that like lives in the elements, and you see the way that its wool is created to like protect the animal and all this stuff, and it's just, I don't know. I like letting my brain go down those paths of like, wow. Anyways.
I think the people that buy the things that you make and that we help them purchase like to know that we are over the moon about what we're doing.
Yeah.
Right? You know, like, why would there's so many other easier things to do for a living.
Yeah.
That we do this because we just love doing it.
And I get super excited about new fiber blends and all that. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Cool. So how long is the whole process? You have the base in hand. How long does it take to dye the base to it's skanned up and ready to go?
Yeah. That just depends on which one we're talking about.
Okay.
So, and then also what method you're using. So a solid takes a lot longer to dye than a variegated.
Okay.
Yeah. And it can depend on like how many dyes are in there and everything else. But a solid and doing a really good solid yarn just takes a lot of attention. So it's more water that you have to fill.
So like this color in here and that you're wearing, it just takes longer than the contrast.
Yeah, and different dyes absorb to fibers faster or slower, and so just the heating process of it so you have to heat it to set things. And for solids, they have more water in there, so you have to heat it up longer because the water needs more time to come to temperature and everything else. So the solids take a lot longer, and that could be, depending on how many you have, from soaking to dyeing, probably about an hour or so for one pan. That's just for one pan. Sometimes, and we have a team of people, and so we don't leave people alone.
Right,
because, like, just the other day, we had like 30 different colorways of solids we had to make, and so it's just, and that could take 2 hours for 4 people to do. So it just takes a long time.
So is it kind of staggered, like you get this pan ready and then you get this pan?
Yeah, we have a very efficient workflow that we've had since it was just me and one other person dyeing yarn, to me and 2 people, to what we have now, which is a team. And my job is more like, I go and I make new colorways and I do stuff like that, and take photos. And so my job has shifted over the years, but
your photos are amazing.
Thank you. Yeah. I make those up every time.
They are
I'm
really
only
beautiful.
just starting to understand what makes a camera work.
Are you using your phone or a camera?
No, I use a camera.
That's why they're so beautiful.
Yeah, thanks. Alex very quickly was like, don't use your phone, use a camera. But then I was like, I don't know how to use a camera. And I just flip switches until it looks in the lens how I want it. And he'll try, I'll watch videos and be like, this is this. I know there's something that has to do with an f-stop, and I know there's aperture, but I couldn't tell you what those mean.
Alex is laughing. I remember when I got it was the last camera I got right before, well, it was a digital camera, but you took the little thing out, and I would take like a whole bunch of them with the f-stop at this and then that to see which one, and I try to take notes. But then when you're out in the wild, you're just like, you just want to take the picture. And I'm like, I don't have time to look at my notes for which f-stop.
Yeah, I tried taking notes too.
I can't wait for it to be intuitive, and it never happened.
Yeah, no, I'm finally starting to understand, like, oh, I want it at this and this, and I want this at this, and if I want it to look like this, I need to flip this to this.
Okay.
But I still don't remember what does what. I'm just like, I don't know. I'm a busy woman.
So and you're a mom too. Yeah,
and that's when I started learning how to take photos. Was when my youngest was probably about 2 or 3. So I was still not all the way there.
So what's your favorite part of the whole process?
Still dyeing yarn.
Okay.
Yeah. I love.
And how many colors do you have in your catalog?
Oh gosh, over 100, I think.
Okay.
150.
Over 150.
Alex knows the numbers.
I know, but we know at least 60.
I lose count.
Yeah.
I lose count. But I lose count because I'm always like planning ahead for the year.
Yeah.
And so like my brain is right now is in fall and winter, and then next year.
All right.
So it's like my color wise, it's just everywhere all the time.
Do you so when you say that, are you thinking of like the color of the year, although there's like 3 colors of the year? Who decides which one is which?
Yeah.
I mean,
Who chose the brown?
I know. I like brown, but not that shade of brown.
The year that it was like a burgundy, I was like, yes.
Yeah. We both saw each other at market, and they talked a little bit about that. And I like listened for a second, and then I'm like, oh, that means I'm going to see all that color in Target. Yeah. And then I go on and go like, I still like to wear
whatever you like to
whatever
wear.
I like to wear.
Yeah. I think when I say like, so I never go by color of the year or anything like that. I kind of we do a lot of themed releases.
Okay.
So I kind of start thinking like one year we did all literacy, like just in the whole gamut of whatever that meant. And so I kind of was experimenting with theming our releases around something to see if it would be easier for me to create stuff for every month.
Yeah.
And it was helpful. So I've been thinking about doing that again this year, but we just kind of go all over the place. So So like right now, this is a little sneak peek. We're doing for the fall. We'll have some like medieval Joan of Arc kind of colorways coming out, and so my
and that feels like a fall kind of theme.
Yeah,
like not so much as spring or summer.
Yeah, those medieval colors. Yeah. And so my brain is like going there and into those darker, deeper colors. And then I'm also thinking about next year. And I'm thinking, when I plan for the next year, I think I think about either what is exciting me from like my Pinterest boards or something, like what am I really loving in Pinterest? And then I also think about what can I pull colors from and how can I make this cohesive and make sense just from a broader standpoint. Like if I'm presenting this to someone, how can I make it make sense with the thought behind it and the colors that I'm making? So I don't know, I'm tossing around a few things for next year. I've thought about like time periods. So because I do, like I said earlier, I love history. And so I'm thinking about like the Renaissance and all the artists. I also love art. Like I love so many things. So many things. So I've been thinking about like art. I've been thinking about highlighting women in history. I've been thinking about all these different ideas.
All of those sound amazing. I'm sure all of us would love all of those. Yeah. But just plot them out. We want you to be happy and
have
time for other things. But yes.
I'm in the scheming phase.
So that goes along with, we just love your yarn names. Do the yarn names ever come first? Like, here's a great name and I'm going to make a yarn.
I think there has been one in the past. I don't remember one that has. I think some of the Alaska sets, definitely. I would kind of pick things for Alaska that I related to or thought, this would make a really good colorway. And then I would make something about that thing.
Okay.
Like Coffee Hut, and that definitely came before because there's a lot of little tiny coffee stands all over in Alaska. And Wild Blueberry. And so I had like a thing to relate it to before I made the color.
Okay.
But there are ones like haiku and
You want me to get that?
He's gonna leave it.
Okay.
Thanks.
the delivery.
Yes, the Saturday deliveries.
Yeah. There are ones like haiku and things like that where I had an idea and then I would research as I was making it. And the same with like the Edgar Allan Poe set and things like that. You have these, I would have these main ideas, and then as I would make the yarn, I would try and get something that they would.
Yeah. Oh, how fun! And then just go like, okay, what colors do I think of with Edgar Allan Poe?
And then we have fun ones too where it's like I make it and I like the name doesn't really hit right or something, and so our staff right now has been having a really fun time. Like they named our new 4th of July one Sizzle and Pop, and
can you read?
Oh yeah, this one. Boop.
Look at that.
So I was starting to name this one "Baby, You're a Firework."
But now you have that one for next time.
Yeah, well, they said we can't because we have these stickers that have the name on them. Yeah. And they were like, that's really hard to put on a sticker.
Okay.
So they have been pooling together and they named Shortcake and a few other ones. So if I come out with a name that they're like, I don't really like that, I took a whole video one morning. We had a impromptu staff meeting because no one liked the name that I chose. And so we had a whole voting system, and our entire staff, we stopped everything and we were like, okay, what do we name this colorway? And we did a poll and all kinds of stuff. So
I love that you have, some people don't take it into consideration with what you and I do is how much team management there is. Yeah. And several times you've mentioned but the fact that your team can tell you they don't like something says a lot about you as a manager.
Oh, I try. Yeah. I try. Because
it's a creative field.
Yeah.
That they're doing it because they want to be creative also. And so you want to make room for that.
Yeah.
There. So that says a lot about you as a as a manager too.
Yeah. I try my best. I try my best to be open to suggestions and things like that. So, and a lot of times they have a lot better ideas than I do.
And then it's such a relief all of a sudden.
Yeah,
it's like,
I get decision fatigue.
Yeah.
So, yeah. And then I like our manager, Allie, too. She's been with us for a really long time, and she
moved with you.
She did, and she's just awesome. So, yeah. And I definitely get corrected.
So what's your favorite colorway right now? We've talked about your favorite base. Okay.
Well, right now it's this peach one.
Oh yeah, so let's talk about the peach one.
Okay. Right. Sometimes I'm I'm a little bit like, oh, I wish I had this.
Plus,
one
it really lines up with, we're in Georgia. We're known for peaches.
Yeah. This is the Fuzzy Goat shop colorway that we do just for you guys. So it's never on our website or anything else. It's just for you.
And I didn't ask her to make an orange one, but I sure am tickled.
It's so cute. And I have the, where did I put the swatch? I think it's in my other bag. But I have you have a picture of the swatches. Yes. So it's all swatched up.
I love that you have crochet and knit swatches.
Yes, always.
Yes.
And it doesn't pool at all. And it's just fun. It's got like peachy pinks and some green speckles and sunny bursts of yellow in there. And when it was in the dye pan, Allie was helping me with some, because I had a big long line of pans out one day, and she was helping me. She did one side and was like, oh my gosh, it's like the inside of a peach. And I was like,
yeah, with the gold in there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah, so it's just fun, and it's really, really cute. It swatches up great, and if peach and yellow and oranges are your thing, it's got it all. Yeah, it's super fun. I love it. So this one's my favorite right now. Okay. Sometimes we make ones that I just get really excited about, and right now it's this one.
So let's talk about some others here. So pick a couple and talk about what you like about them.
I like Air. This is one from our Elemental set. It was just released. I just really love these like cool light colors. It is a variegated yarn, but you can make it's another one that flows in and out of itself, which was what it was intended to do. So I love that.
All right, so let's pair that with a solid.
Ooh, a solid.
Well, it doesn't have to be. So like we have fingering and DK, and I'm wearing this one right now because I think it would be great in your yarns. So that you could do.
I love it with
Air with Elvis. Elvish. I didn't think it was Elvis when I read it, but I can't say it. Elvish.
We have a list that we make at work when we have we need to make this, and they write Elvis.
they do too.
I also think it's beautiful with this is sandbar, or is this? Oh, there's a little.
I know.
This one's Calico Scallop, and
those two would be really pretty together. It'd be pretty in your top.
Yeah.
You can make use the DK and build those bridges in just one skein of each.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You do that.
Yeah. So I love those. I'm using right now we have this orange traffic cone, which I was kind of nervous about. I was like, I don't know if it does go with that. Yeah. So that's the traffic cone with the Georgia peach sangria. And it also looks really fun with sizzle and pop. So you can do some really fun 2-color situations there.
And we have a lot of pattern links for both fingering and the DK.
Yeah. You could do...
Oh, those two. Yeah. In fact, this kind of even tones it down a little bit.
Yeah.
But still looks really fun.
Tucking in ends here. This is Fire, which is also from our Elemental set. Ooh, trying to hold it all. And then I feel like I'm trying to look and see.
I bet you could put that.
Oh yeah.
With that it's the one we did put it with. This is Georgia peach. And it just happened to be over there too.
I'm glad you love it.
Yes.
And then there it is.
Those three would be really pretty.
And then you can throw something fun in here too with Zanzibar, which does have
Zanzibar is stunning.
It's really fun. I'm making a pair of socks out of it. I'm halfway. It's in my whips.
How many whips do you have?
Right now I'm down to 9.
Okay.
So
Yeah, we just all need to feel better about it.
I know.
Yeah.
I'm working. I have 2 in my bag, so I love this one.
I
too.
have a new phrase now. It's called a whim.
Oh, a whim.
Whim, which Mike came up with it. He said, "Do you have any whims with you?" I said, "What's a whim?" He goes, "A work in mind." I'm like,
Oh.
So I have several whips, but I have several
makes sense.
whims because I haven't decided on the
Started it?
yarn
Me
yet
too.
or something like that. But it's definitely taking up space in my
What
head.
are your whims?
My
right
whims?
now?
I want to make the forest land cardigan. It's going to be steeped, which is why I'm super. I feel like non-superwash yarn is better for steeping.
I agree.
I've done it. I've steeped it.
Yeah.
But I've had to sew my little ends and down before when I used to superwash. But it has all these creatures across the bottom,
Oh, cute.
like a bear and a tree and all that stuff.
Oh,
So that's
cute.
definitely a whim that I have in mind.
Do you have just the one or
No, another one is the Magnolia Chunky Sweater.
Ooh.
And it has a little bit of lace down at the bottom. And
Mhm.
yeah, those are 2 right now that I literally wrote down.
Yeah.
Like, they make.
Must make.
Yeah. They're my.
So as soon as you finish your whips, you're getting your whims on.
Yeah.
It's like a process.
It is.
Yeah.
It's all part of it.
Yeah.
It's the fun part.
Yeah. Mine has always been, even though I don't own a teapot, I've always wanted to make a tea cozy.
Okay. They are really cute.
Yeah.
I can understand the inclination.
Yeah. And I have always wanted to make the rose sweater by Max the Knitter. It's got the roses across. I know it's a super old pattern, but I don't care. I love it and I want to make it. And then the other one that I have is a crochet project. I have several crochet projects. Detroit Knots has a cowl. Actually, I have. Now that I think about it, I have a lot of whims.
Right? It's such a useful
I
term.
might have just as many whims as I have whims. Probably more. My Ravelry library is specifically for whims.
Yeah.
Anyway, I've got a lot, but there's a Tunisian crochet cowl
There's
by
no
Detroit
shame in it.
Knots. Yeah. There's
Do you do
blanket.
Tunisian crochet?
No, but I want to learn.
Yeah, I
and
do
so
too.
I was like, well, to learn, I'm just going to hop into something that looks way too advanced for me. What else am I going to do?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I have my hooks. I bought myself a little hook set, and I haven't picked out my yarn yet, but
People will say that. They'll say, say they see the sweater, I want to do the sweater that you're wearing. Is it really hard for my first project?
yeah.
And my answer is always, how
Maybe.
bad do you want to do it?
Yeah.
Because if you are determined, you'll get through it.
Yeah.
But maybe most people, I wouldn't start you on. I wouldn't say let's start with
I'd
this.
be like, let's start on a scarf.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the person who taught me how to knit taught me how to knit a cabled sweater.
Oh my gosh.
I know. I didn't know any better.
Yeah.
And I had taken lessons from her. I learned so much.
Yeah.
I learned how to do cables.
Yeah.
It was a piece sweater.
Yeah.
Pick up all kinds of stuff. But
Holy cow.
I know.
You're seaming
Yeah.
right out of the gate.
that was a while ago.
Yeah.
Nobody, I don't think most people have that kind of frustration or attention span at that time. But, occasionally we get people come in here that same way. Like, I want to learn and this is what I'm going to learn with.
Yeah. And I always say, if
Like
you love
you
the
and
yarn,
Tunisian, you're good.
yeah.
Right.
If you love the yarn and you love the pattern, you will bear with a lot of things to do it.
Yeah. Use yarn you love.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah. And that it works with what
And
you're
holds up.
thinking.
And holds up.
Yeah.
Because you're going to have to rip it out.
Yeah. I think it's,
Which your yarn does.
Yeah. Oh, thanks.
Yeah. I always have to start over. Always.
Oh, I've had a few projects where I remember one cowl in particular where I knew I had the skill to do it, but for some reason it was because I had just had a baby. I kept twisting my stitches every time, and I took that thing out maybe 5 times before I finally got it right. But
yeah, my gauge isn't right.
You just learn so much.
Yeah, I don't like that color in that stitch.
Yeah, my colors don't go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Something like
A
that.
lot of lessons.
Yeah, that's why we do it, because we love it.
Yeah.
And there should be no shame in how many whims or whips you have.
Or how much you rip something
and nobody
out.
should be putting you on deadline knitting.
No.
I really like to disabuse people of that.
Deadline knitting.
Yeah, that's like No fun.
Sometimes it's fun for me because I have pressure, but I do have a sweater that is in my whips that I made being like, this will be my Thanksgiving sweater. I started it in October.
Self-imposed deadlines are one thing.
Yeah, I call mine delusional deadlines. Okay. Because I'm like, this will only take me a week.
Oh.
1 month later.
Oh, I don't tell myself that.
That's why it's delusional.
Yeah. So, Marcie, how the heck did you learn how to do this? What was the initial impetus?
I learned because a gal in my knit night, Shandy of Expression Fiber Arts, I had no idea, and we really liked her, thought she was great, and she posted in our knit night Facebook group, which is where we were keeping track of when we would meet and stuff, that she was looking for someone to help her dye yarn for her website. And I was like, no. I said, why would I dye yarn when I can buy it that way?
Yeah.
And she was like, all the gals that knew me in my group were like, Marcie, you should do it. You should do it. And I was like, I don't know. And she said, well, I'll teach you. And so I said, okay. And she taught me. And after the first lesson, I was like, I love this. So yeah, it just went from there.
Okay.
And so I learned there. I dyed yarn with a microwave for a really long time. You just wrap it in saran wrap and it heats up to temperature. And so I did that for a very long time. And then when I had started my own business, I was still dyeing yarn in a microwave, but I had started to wholesale with the local yarn shop. And there was a gal there that I still love and am friends with, Sana. She makes some patterns for us.
Okay.
And she and the owner there, Leah, would be like, have you tried this way? Or have you tried doing this? And they would ask me to make stuff for them. And it would make me nervous, but I started to experiment. And then I started to experiment over the stove. I started to watch videos, and I learned a ton just from working through that with them and experimenting it with myself and just getting braver to try different things and fiddle around. And yeah, I think like that's how I started and how I learned. But those years of learning with the yarn shop and experimenting was where I think I found my feet. And
how long ago was that?
Oh gosh. So we started Bad Sheep in 2015.
Okay.
And so I was still dyeing yarn with a microwave then. And then probably 2016 I started over a stove.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And then I think 2021 we started using our big ovens.
And now you have a whole separate facility.
Yeah, it's out of my house now.
Yeah. Not meaning that the yarn dyeing has now moved outside of our house.
Yeah,
not
no.
that the yarn comes from out of your house.
Yeah, no, it's all, it's just not for my kitchen anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
I mean, and look at all this. I can see why. Okay, so Melissa has a question. She texted me this last night.
Hey, I like your zinnia too.
Yeah.
That's pretty.
So Melissa, come over here.
Yes.
Come over here and ask Marcie your question yourself.
What do you mean come right here?
Oh, let's see. Yeah, you can come right there. That's kind of fun.
This reminds me of like Mr. Rogers.
Right. Melissa's now popped in the window.
I was thinking last night, I was knitting with some hand-dyed yarn. And do you alternate skeins? Do you have this is what I always
like
do?
making the sweater.
Right, exactly.
Underwear, the
Okay.
two skeins.
So, I think alternating skeins is a good idea. Personally, I really love, and I think it just depends on who you are, how you are, know yourself, know thyself. I like things that are weird and random, and I like little things of handmade stuff that makes it imperfect.
Mm-hmm.
So, when it comes to alternating skeins, I do not mind when you can see like skein shifting, except for if it's like right across a bus line or something like that, where it's like draws attention to a place where I don't want to touch anything to. Then I will alternate skeins. I also think, especially with solids with hand-dyed yarn, alternating skeins is a good idea.
Okay.
I think if you love a really seamless look, and also if you don't love pooling, alternating skeins is a yes for you. I think some people alternate skeins all throughout a project.
That's what I was going to ask next. Yeah.
I don't do that.
Just near the end, you might.
Yeah.
Do a kind of fade.
Yeah, and I only do that because I don't like the switching around of things.
Yeah. Right.
So it's again.
Yeah, I don't like juggling all those balls.
Yeah, yeah, but it's like, but it's kind of like what we were talking about earlier. Like, if you want something enough and you have this outcome, you'll do the work to make it look the way you want it to look. And I think it's like we're in a slow craft. Like that's what we do.
Yeah.
It takes patience, and it's like that's part of what's beautiful.
And that's why we're just healing our brains.
Yeah.
Is that we do something slow.
This is off topic, but I love listening to podcasts, and I was listening to one about a doctor that was talking about keeping your brain healthy as you age and things like that, which I really think about a lot just in my life right now. And they were talking about doing things where you're learning all the time, or you're making yourself do something that's uncomfortable for your brain so that it keeps it where it's always
pliable.
working.
Yeah.
And so I kind of try and take that perspective with things like that of like, this is good for me and my brain.
Yeah.
Alternating skeins is probably really good for your brain.
There you go.
And that's what I'm saying about that.
Okay, I got one last question for you, but before I ask it, what have I not given you a chance to talk about?
I don't know.
Okay.
I'm just happy to be here.
Oh, I'm so tickled. All right. Okay.
Chat, keep asking about the pattern again.
Oh, this one?
Yeah.
Oh, this is the luminous tee.
Yes.
And mine
Thank
is
you, Alex,
made.
for looking at those.
I think it's a calls for a. This is a fingering weight in sparkle, and Melissa's
We'll
is
put-
a fingering
yeah.
weight as well.
Yeah, we'll make sure. I think this link is up for
Yes.
our pattern yarns, but we will also put it in the chat.
Yeah, we both made ours with orchid for the main color. Melissa's has wild blueberry for her contrasting color, and mine has haiku in it. So it's fun to do with variegated colors. And this one, I always feel like this one was made by one of our sample makers, and I appreciate her. Thank you so much.
And then look at this really cool detail on the sleeve
Yeah,
too.
it
That's
has-
what I was petting Marcie about over here.
It has some really awesome details in it. It's a really pretty, really flowy, really good for
Yeah.
summertime.
Yeah,
Nice and airy.
yeah.
Mhm.
I don't personally like things with negative ease because I
Yeah.
gotta have the air moving around in there.
Yeah.
And this one is Build Those Bridges, which is great for DK yarn. And it's even has a method in there that if you get off track, how to just get back on without stressing out over the count of your stitches.
I love patterns like that for variegated yarns.
Yeah.
Solids.
Yeah,
They're
mix
just
them
really
up
fun.
together.
Mm-hmm.
All right, my last question is, what else are you good at that we don't know
Oh
about?
gosh. Alex, no. What am I good at? No. I don't know. I'm trying to think about things that I do on the side that I don't really talk about so much in our yarn world. I love running. I wouldn't say I'm a good runner. I don't
Loving
think
to
I'm,
run
I don't
is
think
already
I'm,
a huge
yeah. I
being
don't
good
think
at it.
I'm
Because not that many people say that.
I don't think I'm good at it, but I do love it enough to like apply myself to be better at it. So, okay, I'll list off a couple of things randomly. I'm actually okay, hold on. I'm actually really good at throwing a party. I can
That's
throw
impressive.
I can throw a really good party. It will feel very chaotic up until the party, but
But if you're a guest,
Hey.
you're going to love it.
the food is on time.
Yeah.
The food is always really good, and I decorate, and it looks fun, and there's almost always like I host Thanksgiving. I'm really good at Christmas.
I am in awe. That is not a skill I have.
I just like it, and Alex likes Christmas too, which is why I've always been like we're compatible at marriage and life, is because we both like Christmas. So, I can make a really beautiful Christmas tree. He does we have a Christmas village that we've been working on for years, like the little ceramic
that light up.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I have some from my grandma and family members, and then he's been collecting his own throughout the years. So we have our Christmas village.
Oh, lovely.
And we put everything up well before the Christmas season, because once Black Friday hits in the yarn dyeing world, we're non-existent.
Yeah.
But so we've planned it so that we can still do fun things like that.
Yeah, this life has definitely changed my holiday experience.
Yeah. I mean, it's
I'm glad at this point, I did that after my kids were gone from the house, but we still all have Thanksgiving and Christmas together. It just looks different.
We do things, and especially because like we have family, we have friends that, or we have staff that like goes to home to visit family for Christmas, and we have our kids, and then we have a mom that works with us and stuff like that. So we've tried every year, and we have been able every year to give everyone a week of vacation around Christmas. Like we do paid vacation around Christmas because it's like we want everyone to go home and spend time with their family and travel and take a break, because that season is just really busy. We've been able to do it. It's always kind of hard to do and to translate that, just because, you know, you have to send emails of being like, we're on holiday.
Yeah.
People can still order, but it's not going out until then. And, you know, but it's
I find as long as you are really clear about what's happening, people understand.
Yeah.
They know that we're
people are
just
great
women managing a lot.
Yeah.
And still making beautiful things.
Trying our best.
Yeah. All right, you said you had a couple things, so I'll let you say one more thing that you're...
I don't remember. It's okay.
All right. Well, the party alone is fabulous.
I don't get to do them as much as I used to.
Yeah.
I do. I can throw a mean party.
I'm going to say you're probably also really good at history, too, just from the things that you're saying about.
I just I just read a lot.
Yeah. Hey, I don't remember I have time.
I'm good at reading.
Yeah.
There we go.
Well, Marcie, thank you so much for letting us ask you all these questions and sitting here and talking to us and bringing these beautiful yarn. We're going to close up now so that we can go open up the shop, and then when things are managed in the shop, then we'll turn everything online so that we can have everything working and everybody can get what we have here.
We've got lots of the peach sangria.
Yes, here, I'll
turn it
just a little bit so you can see the Georgia peach sangria. So, all right. Thank you so much for watching, and we hope to see you in the shop or online. Either way, we're happy to serve you.
Woohoo!